set of brothers left their house and doo-doo-doo-doo, went out, and there were these two sisters, doo-doo-doo-doo, went out. And one started dating one sister and the other started dating the other sister. Well, they fell in love. Hey guys, Sue's here. Today I am going to do a 23andME health and ancestry test. My husband bought this for me as part of my birthday present back in the winter. Obviously, I've had a lot of stuff going on, if you guys have kept up with me at all, so it's just another thing on my list that did not get done. And I was super stoked to actually do it. I wanted to get it done, do it and get the results back while my mom was still alive. Maybe there would be some connections and stuff on her side of the family that would pop up and she could see that, because she was always really interested in this stuff. My mom's aunt also was really interested in this stuff and had an honorary doctorate degree awarded to her for her genealogy investigation. So my mom's side of the family is predominantly French and French Canadian, like traced back to the founders of Montreal and all that, you know, came over from France originally to settle in Canada. And our family's traced back to that little first colony of settlers. And then they immigrated into the States and settled in the Northeast. So I'm really anxious to see how much of that, you know, because it varies how much you get in your chromosomal makeup and your DNA makeup. I've been also hesitant to take this because it does the health predictor of whether you carry specific gene or not, and one of the things that it shows you is Alzheimer's, not late. I think it only shows you early onset, I think. I'm terrified of losing my memory and my cognitive function. Time is better than now. You have to register your kits. So let's do that. So we're all registered now, and it says no food or drink for 30 minutes. That's extremely hard for me. I'm a sipper, constantly sipping. And once you're registering, there's so many institutional review board informed consent, different types and different levels that you really have to go through and read and really pay attention to what you're doing there, guys. Like storing your sample or not, allowing them to use your individual level information for further research, sharing it with outside people and entities like corporations and pharmaceutical companies and things like that. Once you wade through all of that though, then you get to do the fun part, maybe not so fun part, the little gross part. You have to spit in this. Most people take between 2 and 5 minutes to deliver a saliva sample. Every time I say the word saliva, my mouth is like watering. My mouth's like, I got you. I got your spit right here, girl. Spit into the funnel until the amount of liquid saliva, not bubbles. Ew. Close the funnel lid with the other hand is shown until you hear a loud click. Blair loves saying click. I'm gonna turn out the light in her room. So you just spit. Oh gosh, this is a lot of spit. I don't know if I can fill this. It's like that much spit that you have to fill this up without bubbles. So earlier I was saying saliva, saliva, saliva. It was making me salivate. So saliva, saliva, saliva. What should I think about food? When you think about steak, it's hard. Like when you're on keto, you can't just, I'm not gonna sit here and fantasize about all the things I can't eat, like pizza, donuts. We're gonna have both of those in keto form though. It's pretty cool. What will make my mouth water? Cheesesteak, backbone perla if I could have that, but I can't. Oh, I got lipstick on it. I wonder if that's okay. I think I got lipstick on some of my sample too because it looks a little pink. Oh, my bad. I just realized there's like a little diamond shape on the inside of this. So you're really only having to fill up like that much spit. Which is still a lot, but that much versus that much. So we're almost there. Teriyaki steak with ginger sauce. That's working. Fried catfish. Can't have that really. I have it blackened. I'm gonna give it one more for good measure, but I think we're at the line without bubbles. It doesn't say do not overfill. So now we're going to close the funnel lid. Ooh, we heard the click, and then the liquid in the top of the cap. Mix with my saliva. Shake the capped tube for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. An extra. And I just got the email. Today is the, what is today? Today is the 9th. It said that they were probably not going to be ready until the 24th, so it was a huge surprise that I just got an email today from 23andMe. Your reports are ready. I'm like so nervous, guys. Would you like to receive your health reports? I do. Some of the reports below are about serious diseases that may not currently have an effective treatment or cure. Others may have effective treatment or prevention options, but these actions may carry their own health risks. If you tend to feel anxious, that's me, or have ever been diagnosed with anxiety or depression, you may have more emotional difficulty with these reports. Also consider having a risk variant does not mean that you will definitely develop the condition. But we know that. Genetic testing for these conditions in the general population is not currently recommended by any healthcare professional organization. The Alzheimer's Association, a patient advocacy group, also does not recommend genetic testing for Alzheimer's disease in the general population. And my grandmother, my dad's mom, had Alzheimer's. It was late onset Alzheimer's. And my great grandmother, I'm pretty sure, had Alzheimer's on the other side of my dad's family, which is scares me for my dad, but so far he's doing well. So would you like to receive the following reports? Late onset Alzheimer's disease report, yes. Parkinson's disease report, yes. Cancers, oh, the breast cancer and ovarian cancer, yes. And again, I've got breast cancer. My mom is a breast cancer survivor, and so is my grandmother, so it's really not if, probably, but when. So I'm already aware of all of that. Do these cultural groups labels describe your ancestry? French Canadian. Thought I was done with all of this. I just want to know what I am. Report summary. Ooh, and I can print a summary, so I'm going to do that. 6 pages long. Type 2 diabetes, increased likelihood. Well, we know that because we already have that. All right, I'm gonna read off some of these results, guys. So far, I'm like really impressed with the 23andMe system and the way you do everything and then you send it off, and I'm really impressed that my results came back, 15 days early pretty much. It was really impressive. I thought I would just be waiting around. So, late onset Alzheimer's disease, I do have a slightly increased risk. So, and that's not a surprise for me at all, but at least it says slightly increased risk. I guess that could be worse. I don't know, maybe they don't tell you if it's worse. Age-related macular degeneration, variant detected, not likely at increased risk. Alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency, variant detected, not likely at risk. Type 2 diabetes, increased likelihood. So I think increased likelihood probably means like, that's on you. BRCA1, BRCA2, which are breast cancer and ovarian cancer and all of these related variants not detected. Parkinson's variants not detected. Celiac not detected. Hypercholesterolemia, I don't even know how to pronounce that word, not detected. G6PD deficiency not detected. A bunch of other stuff that's not detected at all. So that sounds awesome. Carrier status reports, and it goes through so many diseases, and I don't have any variants detected on any of them, which is great. And some of these I knew already from genetic testing when we were trying to get pregnant. Wellness reports. Alcohol flush reaction, unlikely to flush. That's pretty cool, and I've actually been told that. Caffeine consumption. Oh, this is funny. Caffeine consumption, it says likely to consume less. And I am a caffeine addict. From the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, I consume caffeine. Deep sleep, less likely to be a deep sleeper. That's very true. I don't think it was as true before I had children, and now like the slightest little thing wakes me up. Genetic weights. I am predisposed to weigh less than average. Awesome. And both of my children are smaller, and I was smaller my whole life. Obviously I'm a lot bigger now after having kids and getting older, but predisposed to weigh less than average makes me kind of stoked that maybe I will get back to my pre-baby's weight, which would be stellar. Lactose intolerance, likely tolerant. Muscle composition, common in elite power athletes. I do build muscle really fast, and I was always athletic growing up, but that's pretty awesome. Saturated fat and weight, likely to weigh more on a high saturated fat diet, which I probably get a lot of saturated fat now doing keto, but because I'm not getting the carbs. Sleep movement, likely more than average movement. That is true. I move a lot. I tend to shake my legs and foot. All right, ancestry composition, 99%. I figured that it was gonna say I was about a quarter French because of my mom, and I am 21.8%. So that's really cool, but not a surprise. And then my dad's side I thought was mostly British and Irish, and it's got me down at 59% for those two. 1% Spanish and Portuguese, 1% Scandinavian, less than 0.1% Jewish. Broadly Northwestern European, 14.4. Broadly European, 1.6. Sub-Saharan African, 0.9. And of that makeup, it's Nigerian, 0.3. Broadly West African, 0.3. Broadly Congolese and Southern East African, 0.2. East Asian and Native American, less than 0.1. Native American, less than 0.1. And I am interested about that because on my grandmother's side, one of my, I guess she would have been my, I don't know if she was my great-great or great-great-great-grandmother, was supposedly Creek, what they referred to then as Creek Indian, which is not federally recognized as a Native American tribe, and there's a whole lot of interesting information with that. So I was wondering if anything like that would show up. And you know, unassigned, less than 0.1%. Maternal group, Neanderthal ancestry, fewer Neanderthal variants than 84% of customers. And that sounds really interesting. Trait reports, ability to match musical pitch, about a 50-50 chance of being able to match a musical pitch. My mom said that she was totally tone deaf. I actually think that she was, because it was so bad. But she would try to say that that like me and my brother couldn't sing either when we were growing up. I think because she couldn't. So, and then I just always grew up thinking that I could not. But I can definitely recognize pitch and notes and stuff. But I've never tried to sing because I always felt like I just couldn't. Asparagus odor detection, that's an interesting trait report. Likely can smell, definitely. Bitter taste, likely can taste. Bunions, less likely than average to have a bunion. Cheek dimples, likely no dimples. Cilantro taste aversion. I don't like cilantro that much. Like if cilantro is like overpowering, I don't like it. And it says slightly higher odds of disliking cilantro. Oh my gosh, this is so interesting to me. Likely no cleft chin. Dandruff, less likely to get dandruff. Now I don't get like regular dandruff, but I will tell you, like during pregnancy and postpartum, I have like these dry, but you know what? I think maybe that's just like a skin condition with dry patches, and I just happen to have one right there, and it bothers me to no end. Likely detached earlobes, likely wet earwax. These are all true. Likely blue or green eyes. My eyes are blue-green is what was on my birth certificate, and they literally look half and half. What else? More likely than average to be afraid of heights. I was terrified of heights growing up, and my mom was terrified of heights, and I fought that and overcame it and went skydiving and the whole nine. So, but that's very interesting because I was definitely born afraid of heights. Likely ring finger is longer. That's not the case for me. My ring finger is shorter. More likely than average to have flat feet. I always had higher arches growing up, but I have developed flatter feet, I think, from wearing rainbow flip-flops. Freckles, likely a lot of freckles. Again, I didn't have those when I was a kid. I just had like a light little dusting, and through the years of sun damage, I'm covered in freckles now, but it's like sun damage. More likely to experience hair photo bleaching. My hair texture is likely straight or wavy, and it is. I'm less likely to have thick hair. I do have a whole lot of hair. It's not, you know, your classic thick hair. It's like fine, but there's just so much of it. Light or dark hair, likely dark. Less likely to hate chewing sounds. I hate chewing sounds, so that's interesting. It says I'm less likely to hate them. I can't stand noises in general that I don't think are supposed to be occurring, like chewing, breathing, if somebody's like tapping a pen or tapping anything, but that is more an attention deficit issue that I have, that I can't tune those things out as easily as a lot of other people. So they annoy me highly because they take away my concentration from whatever task I'm working on, and so I get really frustrated. Likely little baby hair, newborn hair. I was born with a head full of hair, and I'm pretty sure I kept most of it. About a 50-50 chance of experiencing motion sickness. I do get motion sick. I didn't when I was a kid, and the older I've gotten, the worse that has gotten. And I haven't had it in a long time because now I just like prepare for it and take Dramamine if I'm gonna be on a car ride, or even if I'm going to an amusement park, I'll take Dramamine as a precautionary. Likely no photic sneeze reflex. Likely no red hair. Likely lighter skin. Yes, yes. More likely to have stretch marks. It's interesting. I never really, growing up, I had little tiniest of ripples on the outside of my hip thigh area from puberty, and I mean, it was so tiny. I never even realized they were stretch marks, but when I turned a certain way in the sun, they were almost like white, like they didn't tan. And I didn't know they were stretch marks. I just thought they were kind of cool, and I actually really liked them and thought they were attractive, which is crazy, right? The things that, you know, interest you or you think are attractive until society tells you no, that's bad. And so, but I mean, they were so minor that you could only see them, like they would almost just glimmer in the sun if I just turned back and forth when I would like flip over on the beach. And with my first pregnancy, I didn't get any stretch marks except where I'd had my belly button pierced, left a mark down the middle. And even though I had gotten some stretch marks like 2 days before I gave birth with her, but with Brex, I got stretch marks with her all over my stomach, and so it's what it is, but they were worth it to get her because she's pretty awesome. Likely prefers sweets versus salty. That's true. Likely second toe is longer. No, 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 no. Do not have that going on. They perfectly go down into a diagonal. Likely no unibrow. Wake up time. Likely to wake up around 8:27 a.m. That's pretty like on point if I were to just sleep, you know, uninterrupted, but most of the time I will wake up before that. Likely no widow's peak. All right, this is pretty interesting, but what I really want to see is the family. For right now, let's look at DNA relatives. Please choose how you'd like your name to appear to your DNA relatives. Your connections, see your full name. I'll let them see my full name, that's fine with me. Display my birth year, no. Okay, first cousins. All these people that it's listing as first cousins are first cousins like once removed. Or it's interesting because in my family there were 2 brothers and they were, you know, out and about, and they started dating these 2 sisters who were out and about. So one dated one sister and the other dated another sister. And I have to explain it this clearly because when you try to explain it another way, it's like, it sounds really messed up, but it's not. It's like this set of brothers left their house and went out, and there were these two sisters went out, and one started dating one sister and the other started dating the other sister. Well, they fell in love. So these 2 married and these 2 married, and that's like the same DNA pretty much, and then they started their families. So it's like a set of brothers married a set of sisters, so they share DNA on both sides across. So it's pretty interesting, and so I knew that they would show up that way. And possibly, you know, it's curious, like if I had an aunt or an uncle or my dad take this, would they show up as brother and sister or first cousins? So that's interesting because they're showing up as my first cousins, which I guess they are, but they are like my first cousins once removed and twice removed. But now there's some people showing up underneath that their last names don't make any sense to me that are really interesting. So I'll have to look them up. Oh, a lot of my French relatives are showing up on here, which is really awesome. A lot of my French Canadian people are on here. Wow, me and this one guy, we have 72 relatives in common. So interesting. So I am gonna like study into all of this some more, but I just want to say that it was, as far as I'm concerned, a great success. I'm really pleased with all of my results. Nothing like crazy scary. I do know that you can take your raw data and I think upload it to another site that I've read about and will give you even more like in-depth, you know, possibly scary stuff with your health and all. And I probably will do that because I just like to have all the information. I'm gonna start like digging into these relatives because like might be some stuff going on in here that I wasn't aware of, which is interesting. So I'm gonna get to that. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below, have you checked your ancestral DNA? If you did, which kit did you use? What was your experience with it? What you think about it? Subscribe to my channel for more vlogs, DIYs, cooking videos, lifestyle content in general. I am a mom to 2 very small children and I just kind of throw together whatever I feel like it, honestly. So if you are into like a hodgepodge of content that's not niched down at all, then maybe subscribe to my channel or not. See you later. Bye guys.
And I can only press replay whatever you see in me. I say times 1,000.